today's topic is all about how you can motivate people to learn, which is really interesting, not only for HR people, but also if you're a member of a team and you notice that the people around you don't learn or should learn more, and how you can motivate it, how you can motivate them. And also the principles that I will teach here can also be applied if you would like to have something else from somebody. So not only to have people learn more or get motivated to learn, but also simply to get something done from somebody. I think the principles are really great. So it's 6 o'clock. I suggest that we start now, and I'm going to share my screen. Just turn this off. I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay, share. Great, and then go to the presentation. All right. Okay, so how to motivate people to learn. By the end of our time together, you're going to know why the traditional way doesn't deliver the results that we want, and how you can motivate people in your team or in your organization to learn. And first, let's look at why this is so important. Why is it so important that people are motivated to learn? Well, simply because the pace of change is accelerating, as you know. And when the pace of change, when there is change, we all need to adapt to this change if we want to be successful, but also if we want to be happy. It's really important to adapt to that change. And adapting to the change means learning new skills. So the speed of change is accelerating. We need to adapt to it if we want to be successful. But also as a human, if we want to be happy, it's important to adapt to changed situations as well, and not to always look back at the good old times. And therefore, adapting means learning new skills. And not once in a while, but constantly. Since change has just become the new norm, we have to learn constantly in order to adapt and in order to become successful. And when I say learn new skills, I'm not only talking about the hard skills, of course. We need to learn how to use new systems, or we need to learn things for our jobs, but we also need to learn soft skills, but also new behaviors and new habits, because maybe the habits that we had that worked very well in the past are not serving us as well anymore. So we need to constantly learn skills, hard skills, soft skills, behaviors that then turn into new habits. And then I think I've said that very often already in the course, but new habits then from people create the new culture that is really necessary to become agile and to implement the new business techniques. So learning is really essential for an organization if we want that organization to remain successful through all the changes that we are living. And I was just wondering, when you look at your situation, what have you been learning in the last year? Have you learned a lot of things, or have you just done a lot of things that you've always done? I'm just curious, and I don't know if you can answer this question in the chat, because I would really like to know what you have learned in the last year. Whether it's follow the course, of course, but it can also be you learned through your new job. You don't have to really follow a course to learn new things. For me, in the last year, I've learned lots of things because I started a new job. And so I learned many, many things. So let's look at the chat. I learned a lot and still learning. Yeah, but what were you learning? That's what I'm wondering. So for me, I learned, for instance, how to make videos, how to make webinars. I learned a lot about online marketing. I learned a lot about beliefs also. I learned a lot about somatics. So I really learned a lot in the last year. Okay, and then I have learned to accept some chaos. Yeah, that's really a good one. Accept some chaos. That's a really important one to learn. Great. Thank you, Anna, for that one. Okay, and then how do I remove the chat? Yeah. So it's important to learn so that you keep adapting and be successful. And then the second part I wanted to talk about is what doesn't work well anymore when we want people to learn new skills. And suggesting to people that they're not good at something after an evaluation, and then because they had a bad evaluation, propose a course to improve themselves, well, for me, that's really not a great way to motivate people to learn. Often people go in that space then with a very negative feeling of, I'm not good enough. And so that's not the best conditions to learn new skills. However, what I see in organizations is that this happens a lot. We have these evaluations or mid-year reviews or yearly evaluations, and then there is a bad evaluation and the things you're not good at, then your organization will just try to suggest you to follow a course so that you can get better at it. And I don't think that's the best way for somebody to improve a skill. The other thing I don't believe in either is forcing someone. You cannot force someone to change or to learn new skills. Or you can, of course, but I don't think you will get the results you really expect from it. And it will take a lot of effort from your part, but also from the other part, for not a lot of impact. And I was wondering how it happens in your organization. Are these things that are happening in your organization, or maybe you are in HR and you did this for many years, and please don't feel bad if it happens in your organization, or if even you did that. I did that too in the past. And sometimes it can still work, of course, but often it doesn't work to force someone or to tell someone you're not good at this in the evaluation and then please follow a course. But what works then? And these are the steps. There are 6 steps according to me. There are more, of course, if you want, but these 6 steps are really important to motivate people to learn. And I just put this little picture here also to remind you what really motivates people at work. And Daniel Pink, he did a lot of research around that, and his conclusion was that people needed 3 things to feel motivated at work. And that was purpose. People need something bigger than themselves to look forward to and to really get motivated. Mastery. People want to be good at what they do. Nobody wants to suck at something. People really want to feel good about and to be good at what they do. So it's important to give them the tools. And then autonomy. It's really important that you have the freedom to choose how you're organizing your own work. And when somebody has these 3 things, you are motivated in general. And now when we just look then at how you can motivate people to learn, I really believe that you should think like a marketeer and apply some design thinking principles to this. And you're going to understand why I say this just at the beginning. So the first step I believe we should do is to show empathy to the person that we want, to the person we want to learn new skills. And show empathy by describing their situation better than they could describe it themselves. And by the way, these principles that I'm teaching you now are also the exact principles I use in my marketing when I try to motivate you or others to take my courses. So I will start by describing your situation better than you could describe it yourself. For instance, I would say, well, I know that you're very busy, you're working hard, you're not having the impact that you would like to have anymore. You start to sacrifice things that matter to you. So this is not really great. And in the past, you used to have a lot of success, but today you don't have that much success anymore. And so by working this hard and sacrificing things, you start a little bit to lose your motivation. And at some point, you can even start to lose your sense of purpose. So I really listen to the people that are the potential people that could follow my course to understand their problems. And this is what you should do first. So really understand the problem of the person in front of you that you want to upscale in terms of skills, and describe their situation better than they could describe it themselves. And then look at what is the transformation that you both want, and what is the transformation you want to see for that person. And maybe you want that person to be more positive about the change, or to tackle issues differently, or to accept feedback more, or whatever. What is the transformation you want to see? But also, of course, think about what is the transformation that person would like to have. In my case, what is the transformation I would like to offer to the people following my course is that they deal much better with all the changes, that they have more impact, that they find their motivation back, and that they have more peace of mind. So really find the transformation that you both want, you and the person you want to teach things to. And then with that transformation, paint a nice picture of that transformation. What does it look like? Who does this person become? So first, you describe the situation. Secondly, you describe the transformation that that person wants and that you want as well. And then you're going to inspire with stories of transformation. You're going to tell stories of other people who have transformed, who were where they are today and got where they would like to be today as well. This is really inspiring for them to understand that somebody else already did it, so it's possible for them as well. The fourth step is then to shatter their current beliefs, again through storytellings. So there will be beliefs. Okay, it worked for them, but it didn't work for me. And just think about what are the objections that people in your team have for not learning. And a big one, for instance, is I have no time. This is the biggest one. This is also the biggest objection for following my course. It's I have no time. Well, of course, through stories, I tell people that because they have no time today, they just keep putting water out of their boat and working very hard and operationally while the boat is sinking. So you have to take the time to transform so that you will have more time and so that you can save time later. And then I tell stories about people who transformed and really became someone else with much more time and a better work-life balance for their family. So what are the beliefs that these people have? What are the objections that they have, the people you want to learn? And what are then stories that you could tell to shatter these beliefs? And then another big one is, okay, yeah, I understand it works, but it won't work for me because I've already tried in the past, or for whatever reason, I'm different. So yeah, it works for all the others, but I'm different. And here again, try to find stories from different type of persons, or from persons who have tried so many times in the past without success and now they can. So, and the last one, for instance, is, yeah, it worked for that department or that type of company, but it won't work for mine. So these are all examples, and it's your job to, in fact, shatter their beliefs so that they can transform in their head the I can't, I can't learn new skills because I have no time or for whatever reason, into I know I can transform and I want to start now. And you do that by painting this nice picture of transformation and by shattering their beliefs through storytelling. And then the other step that is really important is to create this safe environment for people to transform. Because of course, if you have an environment where making mistakes costs you whatever, you're being punished because you're making mistakes, or your boss gets angry, or another colleague gets angry, well, then still you will have done all this work, but people will not have the room to transform. And we want them to learn new skills, not for the sake of learning new skills, but for them to adapt and to become another version of themselves that will be successful for the company, but also for themselves. And so a safe environment is an environment, of course, where mistakes are allowed, where feedback is stimulated. Really important that you could tell to somebody else if they did something wrong, or if you don't agree with something. It's really important to have this safe environment where feedback is welcome, and also where people are listened to. And listening is something really important, again, to create that safe environment, but also to change the mood within an organization and to transform that I can't into I can. Okay. And so I was wondering, in the organizations that you work in today, is the environment safe? I'm just looking into the chat if I can see answers. Is your organization where you work today safe? Just answer me yes or no. And of course, you can add something extra. Do you feel safe to make mistakes, to say what you think to whatever person, even the CEO? I was just telling Marilyn, who is on the webinar now, that I interviewed her CEO last week. He's the CEO of ING Belgium. And it was really a great interview, and I liked his skills as a leader and how he showed up. But what I really appreciated was that at the end of the interview, he was there with his communication manager or reputation manager. And at a certain point, the reputation manager said to him, well, I think you should redo the first question because I didn't like the answer you gave. And to be honest, and I told them that, I was really happy to see that, because it's not in many organizations that somebody dares to say to his own CEO in front of other people that his answer was not that great and that he should do it again. And the CEO of ING really accepted this, and he said, yeah, you think, okay, but what do you think I should then, how should I formulate it? And then he changed and we did it again. So this was really great. It means that, at least at that level, of course, I don't know about the whole organization because it takes time to go back down. But I liked it that he created that safe environment so that the reputation manager could just say, okay, I didn't like this answer. And at the end, it made a better interview. Okay, so what's in principle, yes, but often there is a cost associated in terms of hierarchical settlement. Yeah, so we see hierarchy is not the ideal situation for people to speak openly. So I like, okay, so it's not because you are the manager of a team that it means that you are better than the rest of the team, or that people should not say things to you, of course. But it's not always easy for people to see their boss as somebody they can just say things to. Okay, thank you, Anna. So just to recapitulate, just to summarize the 4 steps, the first one is that you need to create that, you need to show empathy and to describe the situation better then the person could describe it himself or herself. Then you should talk about the transformation and not you're going to learn this skill or that skill. No, this is what's going to happen for you through this course. You're going to transform into that person. You're going to better deal with a change. You're going to have more peace of mind. You're going to have more impact and become more powerful and motivated. That's much more energizing than if I told someone you're going to follow videos and print your notebook and do exercises in your notebook. So that's what I mean by transformation. Then tell stories about that transformation, stories about other people who got the transformation. Shatter the current beliefs and the objections with other stories. Then create the safe environment for people to transform. And then what's also really important is to build a community of learners. It's always much easier to learn together than to learn alone. Because when you learn together, people can also find accountability. And I think there are a couple of organizations that follow this course in group together, and sometimes people form a buddy with a colleague and they discuss and they go through the course together. Like, okay, by Monday next week, I want us to finish the first module and then we'll discuss it, which increases the chance to get the transformation. So it's really important, if you can motivate people to learn, it's good to do it in group also. And that way it also becomes a priority. But also where people can support each other, because learning new skills, learning new behaviors or new habits, sometimes it can be confronting. Sometimes you can feel like a beginner and not at ease at all. And so it's great when you can talk about it and feel support from other people who are at the same stage as you are. And then lastly is believe in your people. I like to think that if you believe that somebody can transform and you believe more in that person than that person believes in himself, that person will be able to transform. So, for instance, I once had in my team a director, and sometimes he lacked a little bit of confidence, but I truly believed in him. I truly believed that he could make it. And he told me, I could transform because you believed in me. You believed more in me than I believed in myself. And for a long time, I've written on a closet here at home with a stift, I believe more in the people than they believe in themselves. Because sometimes people, they start my course or they start whatever course, and they don't really think they can transform. But when I believe that they can, and my energy shows this, and in my video and in my talks, I just say you can transform, and a lot of people already did it, then you start believing in it yourself. So believe in your people, believe that they can change, and they will change, and they will learn new skills. Okay, and that were the 6 steps of how you can motivate people to learn. So it's not about telling them what to do. It's not about saying you're not good at this, maybe you should learn this. It's really about inspiring them and showing empathy and creating the conditions for them to transform safely and believing in them. So if you have a question about this, please ask. If you have a question about a challenge that you are facing or that you are living at work, please share it also with me. I will be really happy to answer the questions. Maybe you missed it while you're thinking about a challenge that you might want to share. I'm reviewing the course, so we are now working on a new version of the course, which will be a little bit shorter, but also with more structure and new videos and new materials in it. And we're going to launch that new course beginning of November for the new participants. And we already have a large organization who is currently testing this new version. So I will keep you updated. And because we are still in the beginning of this course or this journey with me, and so we launched this course in May last year. So we're now a little bit over a year and we're coming with a new one. But if you want to, we will also give you access to this new version of the course that will be shorter, more structured, and with other videos. Because also I think I have improved in my videos. So I wanted to redo some videos as well. So if you have no questions, thank you for joining me tonight, and I wish you all a great night. I wish you all a lot of motivation to learn. And so please, if you have any questions, ask them on the platform or here, and I will answer them. So thank you very much, and I will see you in a little bit less than 2 weeks, the 30th, in the next webinar, where I would like to turn all the cameras on so that we can chat together, that we can see each other, and that we can then share some of the challenges together with each other and help each other. So thank you very much. We will send the replay to you also, and follow me on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, I currently publish every day a video of 1 minute with some tips. So if you want to keep practicing and keep being in this new habits mood, just follow me on LinkedIn as well. You will see some content there as well. Well, have a great night. Bye.